Welcome back to another episode of the Grunge Bible Podcast. My name is Ethan Shalloway. I'm joined by Chris Salona, and this is episode 100. This is episode 233.
233.
Yeah, we've been doing this a long time. And
we've been to Margaritaville a time or two.
We've been to Margaritaville, and all I have to say, Chris, and I know you are feeling the same thing, is we took a walk down Sullivan Street, and we ended up having three strange days these past 3 days.
We certainly have. You know, you get to the end of a work week, and there's a lot of different ways that the weekend can go. There's a lot of different places that your mind can go, and we definitely. I don't know if we managed our assets properly this weekend, considering it's almost 8 p.m. Eastern time and Sunday night, and this podcast comes out in like 10 hours. But we held off, and right off the presses, it's going to go out into the world.
We made a few executive decisions to push back the recording, and were they the right decisions? I'm not sure, but lots happened. Nothing noteworthy, just a lot. It's like nothing noteworthy, just a busy week, and
there's a lot of traffic going on.
The NFL season starting it took up a lot of our time. See, if you guys are listening and you don't know, Chris and I are huge sports fans. I mean, it can be anything. I mean, the U.S. Open was finishing up. I mean, NFL fantasy drafts and all the stuff. We were entrenched in it in our time.
It's all happening at the same time.
Yeah, so we decided to push it back and do it after the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock games. So
and here we are now. Yeah, it's been because the thing is, like, it hasn't been a particularly busy weekend necessarily in terms of like things that we had to do. But Friday night, you get home at the end of the day, you don't want to do a podcast. Saturday morning, yeah, that's right. There was football. The Chiefs were playing. Saturday, Saturday's the sacred day because you think you have the whole weekend in front of you, so you don't want to waste it right away, and you don't want to spend time. So then I think our time to strike would have been Saturday evening, but we let that get away from us for a multitude of different reasons. But we're here now.
Did it get away?
Yeah, man, it got away. I was absolutely just staple gunned to my couch for a variety of reasons on Saturday night.
I was too, and I ended up waking up at 5:30 on the couch.
Yeah. You see, that happens to you relatively frequently, I would say, and from time to time.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. It almost happened to me Saturday night. I was on my couch. It was like 2:15. I was like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta get in bed, and I was able to do it. So sorry to leave you out there on the battlefield like that, Ethan. It's tough.
Once the clock hits midnight, you're fighting up an uphill battle. Like at any moment, your eyes could close for a couple hours. And I took that chance, and I lost this time. Well, roulette, but
like you're playing nap roulette. You're never. But
in other news, I decided to shave my beard. If you're watching on YouTube, and while I was shaving
it's looking pretty good, man.
I knew that I was gonna keep the mustache, right? And so I just shaved right up my neck, over the chin, and then I stopped right where the soul patch was, and I looked for a second. And I was like, you know what? So I shaved the rest. And I kept the soul patch for at least for this episode. I might shave it right after this. But I don't know. I'm kind of playing with it. And Chris, what are your takes on the soul patch?
Oh man, it is a relic of a bygone era. And I think how sometimes when people are talking about historical figures, they say like they were a person of their time, and you have to judge them based off of the circumstances of their time. I think the soul patch is that exact same thing. Like you have to judge it based off of the time and place from which it came, which was, the United States of America circa 1997, 1998. And, I don't know that I think there still can be a time and place for it today. But it's a tough one to commit to because of the reputation that it has. But Ethan, you got a good one going for you right now.
Are you just saying that so I keep it, or?
No, I mean, I want you to keep it regardless. Like that's the thing with facial hair. Like you can either keep something because it's so good, or you can keep something because it's so kind of out of the ballpark a little bit. So, both of those things are kind of happening with the soul patch, but I'm in on it, man. I haven't had the stones to do it myself, but I just had a beard for a really long time. Like I didn't shave for all of July and August, and I just trimmed back down to the mustache, but I maybe I should have, should have stood in solidarity with you.
Well, It won't take long for it to grow back if you do choose. But
That's true, man.
yeah, it's interesting. Like, if you want to lose weight or gain weight, it usually takes a long time. But if you want to change your look and you have facial hair or you're just hair in general, you can become a different person
Just
and
to
embody
prove that
that.
you have control over something.
Yep. And I shaved it down. I was like, you know what? Do I want to keep this? I don't know, but it is a whole. I feel like I have a whole. It's like changing your name. It's like you have a whole new. It's like you have a whole, this soul
That
patch will
decision weighs a
impact.
ton.
It could impact my week. Like I would never know. It's like the butterfly effect. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I might get a lot more respect. I mean, people maybe take me more serious. You never know. So
Yeah,
I don't know. The verdict's still out, but
yeah.
I decided to keep it for you guys. So at least it would be
That was honorable.
cemented somewhere. So
Yeah. So we know how your facial hair situation is doing, but how's your total situation doing? Let's have a check in here. How are you?
see how my condition is.
Yeah,
doing.
I'm just gonna drop in to see what condition your condition is in.
The condition is it's the human condition right now. It's going, it's okay. It's going well. I'm just a little bit in limbo. I think next week I'm going to be heading back to Pennsylvania and I'll be able to get a few more anchors set. Right now I'm just living day by day and figuring it out, and we're doing all right. Yeah, I mean, I've stayed up a little bit later than I should have, maybe last 2 nights, but other than that, I got food in my fridge and I got a bed to sleep in, so like I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome, dude. Love
How are
to
you,
hear it.
Chris?
I'm all right. It's been there's been a lot of traffic this week. There's been a lot of different things going on, but we're navigating as best we can. And yeah, it's always like I don't know. As soon as the calendar switches to September, there's always a big change that everybody feels, and we're feeling that for sure. Same thing. Like I didn't really rest up in the way that I probably needed to this weekend, and I've got a busy week ahead of me. But I mean, at this point, aren't they all? But it's a privilege to be busy and all that shit. So yeah, I'm all right.
Good.
Yeah, man.
So for this episode, we are kind of going off the cusp, and we said we were gonna provide something a little bit more informational maybe this week, but that's gonna have to hold
It's coming.
on.
It's
for
coming.
one
Don't
more
you
week.
worry.
Yeah. We're just gonna kind of banter a little bit, check in, and keep the streak rolling. If we're being honest, so
Yeah, this podcast is just a sign of life.
yeah, we're just gonna title it September 8th, 2025. That's it.
Yeah, that's really all that needs to be said.
But I
it's
want to
kind
thank
of-
everybody
yeah,
I want to thank everybody for tuning in
Yes.
and following along, because
big thanks are in order.
let's be real, dude. It is not easy to host a podcast when you're just getting. Luckily we have Patreon supporters, but if we didn't have those, I don't know what would keep us going. We definitely would miss some weeks and
Yeah.
whatnot. And we're
Certainly.
very prideful in the fact that we haven't missed, and that's why we're still doing it. But like, I mean, we love doing it too, but thankfully we have people listening and whatnot. So hopefully you can bear with us through certain episodes, that may not fancy what you're looking for, but hopefully you like it too. So
Yeah.
shout out to the people.
Absolutely. Shout out to the people, especially the people that support this enterprise financially. And if you're interested in supporting the podcast, you can navigate to the show notes. We have a link to the Patreon, and we have a link to the Grunge Bible merch store. Patreon is definitely the best way to do that if you want to show some support. We have 3 tiers, $2, $5, and $10, or you can choose your own adventure and support at any level that you're comfortable with. And we would like to thank the top tier members of the Patreon, starting up at the top. A couple of individuals that have chosen their own adventure and given more than the top tier. And we'll start with Abraham and Frank, and then we'd like to thank the Cracker Man, and the rest of the top tier. We'd like to thank Black Hole Sean, A Bit Dusty, Doug Endy, Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce, Gochu John, Jamie Lynn, Heidi in Chains, Carlene Salona, King Buzzo Stole My Hair, Looking California, Feeling Minnesota, The Michael Dooley Project, Nikki Six, Russell, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Sherry Matthews, Ultra Mega OK, and What the Fuck is Up Denny's. So thank you, each of you, for your support, and we're grateful that this podcast is something that you look forward to each week, and something that you feel strongly enough about that you'd like to support it. Because Ethan, as you said, the road would be a lot bumpier if had we not had this support in our corner for as long as we have. So we're definitely grateful for it. And in terms of this episode, kind of, the Sign of Life, this is coming at a soft spot in the calendar because as far as, grunge rock and all that stuff is concerned, the August, September, October, pretty busy months. And we did the Lane's birthday, we did 10, we did facelift anniversaries. We have a little bit of a lull here, but then the end of September, in a couple weeks time from now, it gets pretty busy again with some different albums. I know Dirt and Core have anniversaries, so does Nevermind, Bad Motorfingers in October. There's a whole lot going on. I think Black Gives Way to Blue came out end of this month as well. So I'm sure we'll be profiling some of those and checking in on some of them too. But, just kind of a good point to take a breather from that and paying tribute and just kind of checking in, chatting about life a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And we're not going to miss out on a chance to do this day in music. So let's start there. That is that's definitely one of our anchors here. And so I guess I can go first. In 1956, on September 8th, for the first time ever, Elvis Presley graces the cover of TV Guide. And that's a big deal that the King, I mean, could you imagine getting your, this is the TV Guide, like, the paper that tells you what's on, right?
Yeah. I mean, back then, there were like 4 channels. So yeah. That was it, but you had the King come into, and this was like early Elvis too, in the mid 50s there. So you don't hear much about TV Guide anymore. I remember there was the one Seinfeld episode where Frank Costanza collects TV Guide, and Elaine took one without his asking or without his permission, and it was a big old thing. But there's definitely there are those people out there that like to collect things that have absolutely zero collector's value.
Yeah, that is the the genesis of collecting, I think.
Like one of the biggest lies that you can ever be told is, quote, "This is a collector's item."
If someone collects enough of it, then it'll want other people to want it. So
you're just creating scarcity. Exactly.
Yeah.
So glad that we could touch base on that, and also, get Elvis back into the fold here. So he's never far from this day in music cadence here, but we're going to move forward to 1979, and recording artist Pink was born on this day in 1979. And I remember when we were kids, like middle school and whatnot, like Pink was all over the radio. I remember that song, Raise Your Glass, So What was another one that was all over the place. And then Just Give Me a Reason was like the emotional,
oh yeah,
absolutely.
Just give me a reason.
Yeah, it was tough stuff. But yeah, Pink, big birthday.
Yeah. Raise Your Glass, wasn't that, that was like 15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not as long as I thought it would be, or like it's one of her bigger songs. Yeah, she's got some great stuff. She kills it.
Absolutely.
We'll give her that. Okay, moving to another artist from our era, close in the 2010s, who I thought was one of the best rappers when I was growing up because he was one of the first. Wiz Khalifa was born in 1987. And I remember when Black and Yellow was first released. I mean, Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller, he had a stranglehold on our basketball team. We loved it. It was what people were smoking to back in the day. I mean, it was just, Wiz Khalifa, man, he was like the next Snoop Dogg, I
know, seriously. So turning, would that be 38 now?
Crazy.
Time's flying. We have another birthday to commemorate 2 years after Wiz Khalifa came into the world. Avicii was born on this day in 1989. And did we talked about Avicii a few episodes ago, I feel like.
If we didn't talk about him on the episode, we talked off the episode because I watched his documentary.
That's right. That's what it was. Yeah.
I watched his documentary on Netflix, and it was incredibly sad. He had his death anniversary in April. It was in April when I was got into
April
it. April
20th, 2018.
Yeah, and so he was only 20. What was that?
He was 28.
Yeah, 28 years old. And he just rose to fame really early, had a killer career as far as like, the first 5 years, for 7 years. And then it was just too much, like just all the, like just the performing and all the, working with he worked with so many people, like everybody wanted to work with him, and he was being pulled across the country. People were coming in. Like, I think there was a interview with Chris Martin, the lead singer for Coldplay. And he went and did something with Avicii, and like they worked on it for like an hour and they finished it, but like he only had time for an hour, but they got it done like that, their big song. So it's really sad because for what we know, he took his life, and it's really sad because he was a mega talent and just seemed like a really nice guy from everybody that was talking about him and all that.
Yeah. And especially like for our generation, like he was one of the big ones. Like his music was inescapable. I think back to like high school and college age, for us, and as you said, yeah, it certainly still is. So it was his birthday. He'd be 36
Mm-hmm.
now.
Tim Bergling.
Big Tim Bergling.
He was a stud, so rest in peace to Tim.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Moving up to 1994.
Grunge.
We're back.
Grunge. We are so back.
20 days before my birthday, the day of my birth, on September 8th, 94, Soundgarden wins the Best Metal / Hard Rock Video Award at the MTV Awards, which are actually going on tonight. Chris,
yeah, tonight. I kept seeing it's for the first time ever, it's being broadcast on CBS, as all of the advertisements during the football games today were saying. I will not be tuning in, but I'd rather spend I'd rather spend my time commemorating this event.
Yeah, so they won the award for Black Hole Sun, and their clip beat Aerosmith's Crying video and Anthrax video, and the Rollins band had a song. But yeah, Black Hole Sun, I mean, if we're talking about, music video awards, I think did we do an episode on the music video?
I can't remember if we did or not, because that's always been an episode that we're like, we need to do that someday. And,
well, if we haven't, we've talked about the music video.
It begins and ends with Black Hole Sun.
Yeah, and if we're gonna, the long short of it is, when we were in college, we'd watch that music video and we were just so freaked out and blown away because we didn't know much about the band, and we just had this like really trippy music video of like, hyper realistic, colors and people, but like fake and scary,
and this is like one of
stuff.
like the bits of common ground that you have in grunge fandom. Like whether you were a teenager in '94 and you saw it on MTV for the first time, or if you're our age and you saw it on YouTube, like we all had a moment where we can remember being a little traumatized by the Black Hole Sun music video. And it's only fair that it did win the award. They won, I don't know if it was 94. It must have been, because it was Super Unknown had come out that year, but they won an award for Spoon Man, I believe, as well. So, just racking up the hardware back then. As I also just really need to appreciate that there was a point in time where something by the Rollins band was a finalist for an award. I don't think, I don't know if that would happen these days, but I went through like a Rollins band, not a phase, that's too aggressive of a word, but like 3 weeks ago for like 4 days, I was getting into some Rollins band stuff, and Henry Rollins is the man. Like he's that dude.
Yeah, I wish I would have. I think I wish I would have been around for when he was like really, important in the music world. He's still important, but what I'm saying, when he was leading the charge, raising the black flags.
You better believe it. So we have one more event for this day in music history. And Ethan, I know we've briefly discussed this in the past, and I probably mentioned it on the show, but there was a time in the before times where I was quite the country music fan. And this was going back to high school times, and all the mid 2000s, early 2010s country music I kind of had a beat on. And one of my favorite groups was this country duo named Montgomery Gentry with Eddie Montgomery and Troy Gentry. And on this day in 2017, Troy Gentry passed away in a helicopter accident. He was en route to a show, and his helicopter went down, I believe, in New Jersey. So he passed away at age 50 on this day in 2017. So we definitely need to take a second to point skyward for T-Roy. Miss that guy. Yeah, dude, Montgomery, like, say what you will, and like I don't really hold country music in very high esteem these days. Certainly what qualifies now for country music, but like Montgomery Gentry, like they're kind of the shit, dude. Some of their albums from like the early 2000s, I used to hammer all the time. And like back when I first started assembling like a lineup of songs on my own iPod, like I had a lot of their songs. So I do remember when this happened. It was our senior year of college, and I remember getting the news. I was at track practice, and one of my teammates was he kind of knew what was going on with Montgomery Gentry, so I had to share the news.
Sad day, another sad day in music.
Yeah, dude. They were great. They have one song called "Something to Be Proud of," and like it's all about how like back in the day, like everything was harder, and like the pre-chorus is like, it was harder times and longer days, 5 miles to school uphill both ways. We were cane switched rays and dirt floor poor. Of course, that was back before the war. Just absolutely incredible song. Yeah, those guys were sick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check them out.
You might have to. I know that you're not a country music fan, but like I think this could scratch an itch because some of the songs are kind of funny at times too. So
yeah,
it could be.
Well, I'm definitely a singer songwriter, guy.
Yeah.
I like,
and I don't even know what this would qualify as, but it's
right.
Not bad,
but like
dude.
country, like good old country, or good like if it's Sturgill Simpson type country, or like there's definitely like there's a lot of storytelling in country, so like there's definitely a part that I can resonate. So yeah, this could be it. I mean, I like those lyrics that you just read off. So
yeah, dude, it's kind of heat. Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce. Will really appreciate this segment because that song he and I quote back and forth to one another probably a little bit more often than we should.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
So that wraps up September 8th in music history.
Kind of
nothing too crazy.
Yeah, a little bit of a quiet one. Although a lot of birthdays for people that are near and dear to us. One other event that I do want to commemorate. It's not on the 8th, but it just happened on the 5th. Soundgarden's album "Louder Than Love" turned 36. It was released September 5th of 1989. So I spent some time on the page, kind of revisiting that one. And, with all of the attention, obviously, that we give the Bad Motor Fingers and Super Unknowns and everything, and even King Animal, like going back to, 1989 for Louder Than Love. I mean, there's some unbelievable tracks on it. I posted a version of a performance of Gun, obviously Loud Love, but Hands All Over, Dude, I think is one of Soundgarden's best songs. And I was very happy that, even as time went on, that one did seem to find its way into the set list for them, even as they started to accumulate more material. But that's a hell of an album, man. And that was the last one with Hiro Yamamoto on bass before Ben Shepherd came into the fold. But spent some time listening to it. It's one of those things like, we've done grunge for a living for a long time, so you kind of get desensitized to it. But when it was the anniversary, I was like, not only was I posting about it, but I went back and listened. I'm like, damn, this is some good stuff.
Happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime anniversaries are a reason usually once we do an episode about an album, it makes me really want to listen to it because you think about it a little differently, a little bit more critically, and yeah, it's always good. But the music flow, if we're talking in our personal lives, I mean, it changes so much, and the way things ebbs and flow and what you listen to, and we're grunge guys. Obviously, we have the page. We've been talking grunge for years now, but we definitely reserve the right to listen to other music, and it's amazing how it ebbs and flows and goes. And we did an episode on the Counting Crows a few weeks ago, I guess 2 weeks ago, and we've been listening to him a lot recently. And really,
I've been locked in.
Like we could do an episode on Adam Duritz because he is one of those just magnetic frontmen that has so much it's. We have a friend like this too, and you guys will understand where I'm going from. Like when people have drama in their life and like stuff going on, like it is sad. Like Adam has a lot going on, Adam Duritz, that is, but like as a viewer, like it adds so much to his music, and like you hear a story, and like I've never met the guy, but I can feel for him, and and now you get to see his career like in the rear view in a lot of ways, or all the stuff that he's gone through, and the dating life or the writing, and I think all the anecdotes that he gives, and you just have like a really direct relationship or connection to the artist, and he makes the music a lot more interesting versus on the other hand, you have people that are really mysterious, and that's really cool for music as well because it's all up for interpretation. But there's something really cool. Like you said, Adam has a special like thing about him that's like it's just so interesting to
Well, and
follow along with
as a
this.
performer, like each avenue, like whether you want to just lay everything bare and like be very explicit about what you're writing the songs about, like that avenue, as well as like I always think about Tool with like Maynard, like he never said a damn thing about what he was writing about, and like he kept that mystique up for a long time. Like both of those avenues, I think as a listener are equally fulfilling, because if everything is a mystery from from the pen of the songwriter and you don't know what the inspiration was, like it really just completely opens it up for you to apply it in any way that you want. But in the same way, like I've been listening to a lot of Counting Crows, and I've been listening to interviews that Adam Duritz has done. And like he's been, for his entire recording life, he's been very explicit about what a lot of the songs are about. And like in the same way, like that also allows you to attach, on a deeper level to some of the songs. And I've enjoyed doing that. And Ethan, I gotta say, somebody that we always talk about, over the years, because he's a big music guy and he's got quite the impressive enterprise going, is Rick Beato. And I don't think I've ever listened to a Rick Beato interview until this week. He had Adam Duritz on, I think 4 or 5 months ago.
Wow.
And it was like an hour and a half special, an interview, and they went through, the first couple of albums and the background and everything. And it was really, really interesting. And like, I think now I'm finally ready and able to admit that I've missed the boat, and I've been unnecessarily avoiding the Rick Beato enterprise of the world, because it was awesome, and Rick's the man and Adam's the man, and it was just a really, really good conversation. So like once again, I turn into this band at a time when I might need them, and you're listening to the guy who wrote all the songs basically, and it just kind of entrenches you a little bit deeper and develops your relationship with the songs a little deeper.
Rick does have some good interviews, and he has some really good song breakdowns. I mean, he is really solid.
Yeah, he is the man. And because
shout out to Rick,
and he's churning out so much content too. Because I know like Jeff and Stone from Pearl Jam were on, I think in conjunction with like the Dark Matter album cycle. But I mean, he's done interviews with them. He's done interviews with everybody. And I've been aware of them because they'll come out and people will DM Grunge Bible and be like, "Hey, do you see the new Rick Beato episode?" And no, I haven't. And now I kind of I'm recognizing my error, my sin of omission by not checking those out. So I think I'm gonna have to dial it up a little bit. And honestly, like this last stretch that I've gone with Counting Crows, like I need to see them live. They just played in Boston like 2 months ago, and I didn't go. And I need to make that right.
I thought you had another chance to see them. Oh no, that was the other Crows.
Oh, I've seen the Black Crows. I had a chance to see the Counting Crows in 2021. I think it was August, and they were touring. They were playing in Boston. It was a Sunday night, and it was a similar predicament, whereas the week was pretty full, and so I got to get up there. And I was going to buy a ticket like that afternoon. I remember talking to you that afternoon. You're like, "Yeah, you should go." And I was going to buy my ticket, and then like there was a COVID outbreak amongst the traveling party of the band and the support staff, and they ended up canceling the show. So since then I've still been in pursuit.
Well, time will fix that. We'll get you. We'll get it. I feel like I really want to see him too.
Yeah, dude, that would be a fun one to go together. I want to make it speak it into existence. Like we got to hit up some shows together this fall, because like if you're going to be spending some more time in Pennsylvania, it's going to be a lot easier to do this logistically. And I think we got to take advantage of it. I know there's some shows that are kind of on the horizon that we're thinking about going to. We mentioned Goosemas for some reason is coming to Providence this year, so definitely got to get you up for that. And then Champagne Jam with the Front Bottoms is in Philly, and I think we should get together for that in December as well.
Yeah, you already have your tickets, right?
I do. Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So the Champagne Jam at the Fillmore, that's gonna be good. A couple different artists coming around. Yeah, the Goosemas on the 12th and 13th. Pick one of those days. A few other things I'm looking forward to trying to get to. I mean, Petey is playing this fall over. He's playing at a He's playing at a festival here in Birmingham, and so it's not a full. Yeah, it's not a full set, but he's gonna be around.
Yeah,
and then
I know that the Yips tour is like just getting going. There's a Philly date which I can't make, and then there's a Boston date which I don't know if I'm going to be able to make or not as either. So definitely gonna have to hammer that one down, because it's it's been a little bit since we've seen the band, obviously. So it'd be cool to get out there and see him again.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna look. The date in Philly is
It's like
escaping me.
October 6th or something.
Yeah, which would make, so if that's October 6th, October 9th, Perpetual Groove is playing in Ardmore.
Mhm.
And I saw them. They're like a jam. Well, they're not electronic, but they have like more synthesizer, setups.
Right.
And he's so cool, the lead guy. So me and George went and saw him here in Saturn and at Saturn. And afterwards, really small venue and everybody shut down. He was like standing on stage. I was like, I gotta talk to him. I think I might have said this on the show, but I was like looking at George's first time ever hearing them.
Yeah.
I had known them like briefly for a little bit. I was just like, let's go. And while we were watching, I was like, dude, this is so good. And I was like, this is a band that will never be massive because they've already been playing for like 20
Long
years.
time,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yep. And this is something you just check the tour. If they come through, you go. And I was like, it's always going to be a good time. It's good music. And it's one of those things where like, I'm a fan for life. This concert made me a fan for life. And George said the same thing. And afterwards I was like, I got to tell him, I went up, I was like, hey, this is my first time ever seeing. I talked to the guy and I was like, this is my first time ever seeing. You guys killed it. And I was like, I'm a fan for life. I was like, that's all it took. One really good interaction. He gave me the set list. He was like, thanks. It means a lot. He gave me a set list.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. And then a couple months later, George was in Virginia and he came through Virginia and he got to go with his friend and, same thing, and went up and he remembered George from the Birmingham show and it was like really nice and gave the set list to his friend. So now George has been to 2 shows and his friends have both got set lists. So he needs to go get a set list. But like, he might he's just, mindful artist who likes playing music. And I mean, he's got a whole band, but I think they've been together since like, school days or something. So,
yeah.
But that's the 9th on like a Thursday. And then Friday is Delicate Steve is playing in Philly.
Man. Do you have it? Did you buy a ticket for that?
No, not yet. Surprisingly, I didn't buy him last night, but because I'm trying to like, I texted a bunch of people last night who may want to be interested because I want to go with somebody. So that would be like if Petey was really the 6th, and then Perpetual Groove on the 9th, and then Petey, Delicate Steve on the 10th.
Busy run there.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to decide and see. But like, Delicate Steve is at the top of my list.
Yeah,
like my list is like, Steve,
Sturgill
Simpson, and King Giz and the Lizard Wizard are like 3 bands that I really want to go and experience the show. I did listen to a full King Giz concert that they played, and it is crazy. Just because they move through the genres, like they go all over the place, like seriously for like 3 or 4 songs. So you're like really you feel like you're at a different concert. It's like opening up different doors in an amusement park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So,
well, this is the time too. I mean, everybody announces their tours in July and August, and then they hit the road in September, October, and November, and get off the road before Christmas. So it's going to be, there's no shortage of options here these next couple of months for shows. So that's definitely, I think, if you're listening out there, I'm sure there might be some shows that are on your docket. So we'd love to hear, what people are excited to be seeing this fall, because I know, Grunge Bible podcast listeners are definitely the type of people to go out there and get some live music experiences under their belt. So want to hear what everybody's out there, what people have tickets to.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, if you're within the Patreon, especially if you have a show that you're going to in the Northeast, let us know.
Oh yeah,
and there's a possibility, whether it be a high possibility or low possibility, I'm not sure, depending on the date and time, but me and Chris are looking to go to shows.
This is like this is the alternative
meet and greets.
Yeah, this is like the alternative perk, whereas you get a one-time offer where I can come help you move. It's not a one-time offer, but it is a standing offer that, if there's a show and it works out, like
if you invite us to a show, we will try and make it happen.
Yeah, we should try and make it happen.
Like now that like if it's in New York or Philly or Boston or Providence, man. Like those are the ones that you have a really good chance of getting us to come to.
Yeah, big time. So a lot of things to be excited about. I think I've kind of been unplugged a little bit from all of the announcements and everything, because I unnecessarily stress myself out when all of them come in. I'm like, I got to buy tickets to all this. I have to go to all this, and
I put it
the
up,
older you get, it just gets harder and harder to fit it into your schedule. So we'll definitely we'll be trying.
We just need to be like Doug and just buy the tickets.
Just
and
buy the tickets,
Figure it
yeah.
out later.
Yep, because Doug's always got tickets, man.
Oh yeah, he just saw Jerry Cantrell last week, and
No, man.
I was out of town. Or otherwise, I would have probably went with him because he knew he had extra tickets.
Yeah, man. So a lot to be excited about moving forward here, and that's what it's all about, man. Got to get to shows and see them with the with your pals. So looking forward to be hopefully do a little bit of that this fall. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a big music. Going to be a big fall of music. I already, I can feel myself entering. Just as the season changes, like we're moving out. It got dark at 7.
yeah, it's
7:20.
it is happening, Ethan.
It happened. It happened fast. All of a sudden, I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like,
yeah, I was sitting on my
7:30 and
couch
the
earlier
sun is
today, and
gone.
like I had that moment where I'm like, man, like the sun's up, but like I feel like it's reflecting off the windows a little differently than it was in July and August, and it's coming to be that time. So
Yeah.
we're feeling all types of ways about that, but I kind of feel like I've said what I needed to say for this podcast, and full disclosure here, the Monday night or Sunday night football game's coming on. It's the Bills versus the Ravens, and out of the corner of my eye, I just saw Chris Collinsworth slide into the booth next to Mike Tirico. So this might be a good time to close down this check-in and sign a life, and maybe send everybody on their way with some songs of the week.
Sign of life. I totally agree. I can't wait. Sunday night football calms me down more than anything because the day, like the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock. I mean, it's just chaos, and you
need
don't
some
want to
anchors.
miss. You don't want to miss anything. You got to make sure you're eating, and then like you get a little bit of a break. And Sunday night football, you have one thing to focus on. I'm very excited to do that. Exactly that.
Absolutely. So, Ethan, as you look for your song of the week, I think I already have mine, but I just want to thank those of you listening out there. I'd also like to thank our producer, Drew McFadden, for continuing on this journey with us. And what a long, strange trip it has undoubtedly been.
We got to check in with him and get him on the podcast for a sign of life for other people.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, absolutely. People are wondering.
Everybody's been asking about you, Drew. So, yeah, go ahead, Chris. You can go first. I got mine ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethan, I think you know where I'm going for my song of the week. And
I hope so.
I'm
You've
taking
been there all week, huh?
I'm closing up shop. I had a week-long stay on Sullivan Street with the Counting Crows, and in particular, I'd like to nominate. There's 2 tracks that I need to nominate because it's a live album called August and Everything After, live at Town Hall, and this is the only track on the album where the intro to the song and the song itself are 2 different tracks. So I'm going to nominate Introduction to Sullivan Street Live along with Sullivan Street Live for my contribution to the songs of the week playlist here. And you press play on those, you can kind of understand why exactly they're on the list for me. But that song, man, it's a great song, and it's from Counting Crows' first record, August and Everything After, which we discussed a couple of weeks ago. So there's no better time than now to add it to the record.
It is an incredible live version to the jam, and I was going to bring up earlier too that like I love jams, whether it's like hard rock jams or jam bands, but then there's like the kind of like the emotional jams that people like when Death Cab is like jamming out, or
Big
like
time.
Counting Crows, and they get into it and they start jamming out, or you get like the random bands like that, and this was one of them. This is like, man, these guys are jamming, and you can feel it the entire time. So it is a great listen, both the intro and the actual song. So great choice.
Speaking of the rabbit hole that I was going on earlier related to this band, Duritz did a Reddit AMA several years ago at this point, and somebody asked him about how they improvise and why does it work so well, and he said the vast majority of playing live in our band, it's about listening. It's not about playing. He's like, we listen to one another on the stage unbelievably well, and that's what allows us to do that. So I thought that was interesting.
That's awesome.
Most of speaking is listening.
Dude, Adam was so thoughtful, and he's so thoughtful for obvious reasons. Yeah, I do too. So for my song of the week, I was listening to the band Mo. I don't know if you've ever listened to them, Chris.
Is it like Mo with a period or something?
Yeah,
yes.
lowercase Mo with a period.
Yes.
So there
In a
were
Big Country. I know that song of theirs.
yeah, yep. That's a cover of
Oh, it's a cover.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a cover,
Yeah.
but it is really solid. But so all right, Mo is like, so when you get into jam bands,
Oh, yeah,
there's
it's
like
a
Grateful
it's
Dead,
a cover
Fish.
of a song by Big Country.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. I was trying to remember that.
And now here's Big Country with In a Big Country from Big Country.
Yeah. Okay, so Mo, it's like when you get into jam bands, there's like obviously Grateful Dead, Fish, and then you have like the Widespread Panic people, and then Mo. They're like if you have like Dead, then Fish, then you have like Mo, Widespread, and I don't know, Twiddle or something, like another band. And then there's some newer ones, but like Mo was they always get a lot of shit, like them and Widespread from like the Fish and the Deadheads. So I don't know, it's just like big camp problems, you know. So I never really listened to them much. And I still have like, you know, there's like a weird, unnecessary, for no reason at all. Like I don't really like Mo, and I've never really listened to them to have an opinion at all.
Right.
And but I was with my buddies back home, and they were listening. They're big jam people, and they put on this song called "Silver Sun" by Mo off of their No Guts No Glory album in 2014.
Great album title too.
Yeah, great album, great artwork. And I will say that I've never heard a song sound so much like Pink Floyd without being a cover, or I mean, they obviously were doing like a Pink Floyd thing, and it was really solid. Not the whole time, just the second half of the song that went into some Pink Floyd sounds and vocals. And it was really enjoyable. So I was like, you know, this song, I was like, I'm gonna like the song. It was really solid. So it's going on the list.
Let's add it to the list, man.
Because no one can replicate Pink Floyd, but
no, you can pay tribute though.
Yeah. Awesome.
Excellent. Well, that's
wraps it up. I think
song of the week. Songs of the week.
And that's episode 233. Thank you everybody for following along, listening, and giving us your time. I hope that you enjoyed your time, our time together, right? All of us together. And next week we're going to be back. We'll be better than ever. So thank you.
Always. Thanks for listening. Have a great week ahead, and we'll talk to you next week.
Rock and roll, people.